About the families, of course, coming together, and this might not be a comfortable question for you to answer, but the relations, really, I think a whole lot of us are asking ourselves about the relations between the Steenkamp family and the Pistorius family. Are you talking, have you ever had a moment where you sat down and talk about what happened and the way forward?
As the case is still before the court, or the case has been dealt with, but the sentence is before the court, and the pain and heartache is very real, and the devastation very real for the Steenkamp family. That devastation and that pain that never becomes less, and as Oscar is still devastated. There hasn't been an opportunity for the families to communicate or to correspond.
In conclusion, Carl, if there are any production houses that are watching this interview who've always had that interest of, telling this story in a South African manner, will the family really consider, granting them permission to go ahead with it? And do you think Oscar Pistorius would agree? Would give permission for such a feature, be it a movie, a film, a feature, or a documentary, to go ahead?
I think it's too soon to work on a full feature film.
All right, that was Palesa speaking to Carl Pistorius, Oscar Pistorius' older brother, about the Oscar Pistorius movie that is set to premiere in the United States next month. And our question of the day is, would you support a locally produced feature film about the tragic story of Oscar Pistorius and Riva Steenkamp? And let's take a look at some of the tweets about what you had to say. Collins Ndelela says, I'll support the film only if it gets a thumbs up from Riva and Oscar's families. Mzukisi says, I would support the locally produced film about Oscar Pistorius and Riva. Remember that writers and producers do not always tell the real truth. And Muiva says, I can support the film if both families are okay with it being published, but it brings back bad memories to both families. And Somi says, I would like to see the movie, but we all know that American movies are full of lies. The Arbiter says, I will never support the hashtag Blade Runner Killer. It's sensationalism and disregard at its highest. Linda says, no, a big no. Why must we celebrate brutal killing of women? Whether it's produced in a rural area, we don't want it. That's it. And Lehasa says, yes, I don't have any problem with future film of Oscar Pistorius and Riva Steenkamp, but family should be told. Collins Ndelela again says, I'll support the film only if both families give it a thumbs up. Ayanda says, as long as there's due diligence in respect to both families. Ntabi says, yes, I would support the movie only after court cases are done and wounds have healed. It must be told by a South African. I'm not so sure if wounds can actually heal. And Sandile says, yes, we may finally understand what transpired on that fateful Valentine's Day. Pule Molupe says, nope, I wouldn't support that, to give much respect to Riva's family. And Nazim Khudboom says, I will never support such a story. Well, thank you so much for your tweets about this story.